Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Inhouse Tournament. Today we will be hosting the game of EuroBadger versus RanOutOfName. I'm Leonis and here with me is Uncle Toby.
Hello, I am Uncle Toby, here to help with the casting.
A little bit,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I do need help from time to time.
well, it's my pleasure. Always a good time seeing the games, having someone to talk about it with, and
Yeah.
I don't know, the noticing all the shenanigans that go on. We've had some pretty fun games that we've casted. I know with lots of all across different leagues, all different, but it's cheese games, macro games, so.
Yeah. So far I've only received the replays of lower leagues, like lower diamond if I remember correctly. This might be a
Okay.
little bit higher than the one I've casted before, but I should check really because my memory is not what it used to be. I'm an old
Cool.
man,
So
you
this
see.
is a diamond. This is a diamond game.
It should be around diamond,
Cool.
lower end of diamond. I'm pretty sure it's not diamond 1.
Alright.
Anyhow, without further ado, I think we can go into game number 1. It'll be on data C. And the problem is, I know EuroBadger from a few games, but I don't think I've ever casted RanOutOfName so far. Could be just me.
Yeah, I don't think I know him that well, and yeah, I don't know. Should we start off with the introductions?
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
On the left corner of data C, we have playing in red for PigPan. It is RanOutOfName.
And in the top, I would say the middle of the upper half of the right side of the board, we have for PigPan, EuroBadger. Playing Protoss in purple.
And we already have a tiny deviation within the builds. We have a Forge first versus Gateway first. Now there's also a very aggressive probe here, so I might have an inkling of what's going to happen in here. And I also think this is going to be a very short game. I don't know why.
Well, it's it is sort of a truth of cannon rushes, isn't it? It's always going to be short, whether it ends in one player's favor or the other.
Oh no,
Though
probe
there are
pull.
exceptions, and let's see.
Okay.
Look at that. Random names is in the cage. He is in the cage.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, it looked scary, right? Because he got the first two up, no reaction, but he got in there in time before the rest of the wall closed.
Just
up.
in time.
Now,
I mean,
if I
that's
was a good caster, I would be paying attention to mineral counts to see if. Anyways.
Oh, that's two interesting cannons. I think one of them will go up.
Look at those AFK probes. There are some. Look at those probes next to the cannon on the top cannon. Nothing's hitting that. Now they're started.
Okay.
And that's this moment of hesitation, though.
Yeah, well,
could have come to bite him. Look at that. Look at the HP on that cannon on the top.
Both of those cannons are going up, and I think that's a dead mineral line. There's a Zealot fighting against the cannons.
The cannons losing HP on that lower. Oh, if the Zealot went to the lower cannon, there's a possibility it might have finished it off. But with it dying there,
I think this is GG already.
It's entirely possible. Now let's see. Probe-wise, our friend in red here, RanOutOfName, is down probes. So even if they are up gas, and they are up. Oh no, I was going to say they're up in technology, but hold on.
That's not Cybercore.
Just starting.
That's a third gate.
Oh no, to empathize with our friend here, you know, when you're under pressure like that, it could be so. Yeah. You think you need to build something really, really fast, right? Because it's times of the essence.
Yeah.
You're worrying about your AFK probes on the photon cannons, and then all of a sudden you realize you hastily put down a third gateway. You think it, yeah, and there it is, and there it is. Confirmed. GG. Dang. GG. Well, I mean, if you look at the gas count here, if they had if the Cybercore had been a Cybercore,
Yeah, maybe
They're still
us.
it took them a while to get yeah. I'm just saying whether or not they can make a Stargate. Are you kind of with me on that? Might have been a
I think just a Stalker
response
would have
here.
been fine because both cannons were very low, so just a single Stalker could have
Maybe a
like
Stalker and
saved
a shield
the
battery.
yeah, could have taken control back
Oh well.
of the mineral area, so he could have mined some more. And like EuroBadger had nothing on the other side of the map, so it could have been a playable position. But that
Alas.
said, yeah. Yeah. I think it's time to go into game number 2. Will be played on Tropical Sacrifice.
Oh, yeah. Poor RanOutOfName.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. One thing to notice though is that what I tend to see from lower league players, not so much in this in-house, but usually in other tournaments, is that when you have a cannon rusher, usually he only cannon rushes. We'll have to see. Yeah, usually on the lower end. I didn't see that so much in this tournament. I've seen very much like an unexpected amount of build variety. But without further ado, let's introduce the player on the top right corner. The man who tried to defend the cannon rush failed, but was, I think, kinda close. It is RanOutOfName.
Yeah, great job shutting down that first cannon rush. Remember, with the original cage.
Yeah.
And then credit to EuroBadger for still trying to get it up, right? The and then obviously it's succeeding that second time. I think if it takes a recognition, I guess, of the position you're in to know as the cannon rusher you need to commit.
Yeah.
And get some damage done, right? You can't just back out. You've got to go for it. All right.
Anyhow, let's.
So far
here
is gateways and just gateways.
Double.
Gateways and gases.
Yeah, gateway, double gas, very standard opener from RanOutOfName. Old school opener, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, it does seem old school, like in recent times.
Strange opener from EuroBadger though. Double gate into a single gas. I wonder whether or not he wants to like fast expand. He wants to go for zealots. Fast zealot? With a cyber core. He doesn't have a cyber core. Is this
I believe he's trying to have a meme here.
Yeah, he's probably going mass zealot, isn't he?
Okay, just stop me. Stop me if I'm crazy, but do you think he meant that gateway, that second gateway, to be a cyber core?
I don't think
so. This is a repeat of last game.
I don't think so, because the second gateway started before the first gateway was finished. I have 2 gateways, a cyber core.
We're starting the cyber core.
Finally, 2 gases. It feels like he wanted to end up in the standard position for PvP, a standard opener, I mean. But the way he got there was interesting to say the least. On the other side, we see some creative structure positioning from RanOutOfName, who doesn't know how to build a wall. It happens.
Or chooses not to.
Maybe he chooses not to.
Yeah. Maybe it's not the most popular, but it has been done to intentionally open a wall. I mean, by some very smart people who have done this and gotten away with it. In fact,
as a matter of fact,
which evidences the fact that it can be.
Rotterdam usually opens up with a no wall in PvP, but that's also because he wants to bait the first 2 adept out of his opponent, and then he builds 2 adepts of his own, and then when they commit into his main base, he just kills them before they have the chance to do anything. Oracle first from RanOutOfName, and on the other side we see...
Oh, RanOutOfName has adepts. You think he's doing the thing? He's doing the bait? He has adepts.
I mean, you should have started with 2 adepts. You should have opened. So I think this is just...
You won't have him in time for that initial hold.
He had 2 stalkers, which are acceptable but if your opponent does any deal of focus firing, you'll lose a lot of probes, like 6 or 7, and that's not where you want to be in PvP.
Oh, I have something very important to show you, and RanOutOfName's mineral line.
What's happening? Oh no, that's a follow command.
and the rally is still on that probe.
Oh,
So that's
the
gonna be
rally. Oh.
yeah, so it's a misclicked rally, a really brutal misclick. You know, it's just a pixel off, but if you put that rally onto your probe and you're not checking your mineral line, things like this can happen. So RanOutOfNames is taking a very serious income hit here. If you go to the income tab, they're down almost 300 minerals a minute because of this mistake, even though they are only, you know, well, the funny thing is that their probe's ahead because, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
RanOutOfNames is deleting quite a few probes here. 6 probes. Oh, and
the Oracle in the main base.
nice little,
How many kills do you have? 7 kills, man. I missed the entire Oracle.
Oh, yeah. So you were looking at the natural then, yeah. So you were looking at the adepts because I kind of missed the adepts. What did the adepts get done there?
Basically, they force some sort of army movement into the mineral line, then probe pools, and then they try to kill the sentry, but sentry with a shield battery is unkillable by just 2 adepts. A single stalker to defend the mineral line from EuroBadger, who's very down in workers, but as you were saying before, the income advantage still goes to him because there are like 4 probes, 5 probes, a growing number of probes doing nothing at all. At some point you must notice that you have like a lot of probe and you still have 14 out of 16 saturation.
Maybe we should look at RanOutOfNames' camera. And we can see when they... Oh, he just looked there.
Yeah.
Oh, but this is one of those great things. It's one of those things where I think if you haven't... I don't know. It's one of those things where like you have to know to look for it, I guess. Or...
Yeah.
Like if you're so focused on what you're doing, right? There's so much in StarCraft of like... I need to follow
when you look
thing,
at your
right?
base, you don't think what's my saturation at unless you are specifically checking for it. You're like you can pull a pylon.
It's a green number too on the Nexus, right? So it's not even going to alert you with the red number.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you look at that and say, oh yeah, 14 out of 16, good. And then you
So
don't
good.
expect there to be a mistake of this size.
On the bright side, the rally was fixed because he switched the production of the main Nexus to the natural.
So this number is not gonna grow.
Yeah. That's another very good Oracle, taking 6 more kills.
Now. Look at that, 38 workers for EuroBadger versus 21. Wait a second.
Oh, the Oracle might die though.
Yeah, RanOutOfName is the one doing all this damage here, but
yeah.
EuroBadger is kind of a... I don't know, he's putting up a good worker count, I would say.
So we have also an upgrade advantage from EuroBadger, already researched charge. And the problem I see though for EuroBadger is that his army is not going to grow, like the power of a pure Zealot army is not that much in the mid to late game. While we see RanOutOfName already going for +1 weapons and lots of Stalker with a Stargate, which could transition into either Skytoss or maybe could see an addition of a Robo Bay and Robo Facility for Disruptors. And that's usually one of the most powerful late game composition from Protoss in PvP.
And
alright.
We are at a critical point here where both don't have expansions, so it's looking like we might be... Oh, and as I say that, RanOutOfNames is the first one to expand to a 3rd.
Yeah, but at the same time, we see a Zealot run by, and if they go to the 3rd instead of the natural, they will deal a lot of damage. Stalkers are not very good in fighting against Zealots, but shield battery.
That super battery.
Yeah, green battery is a good battery.
And with some micro there, the Stalkers, I don't think they lost a single Stalker, right?
No, I don't think so. There was some good micro on the blinkbacks, and the shield battery did anchor the defense nicely.
Very much agreed with you that if, you know, they had gone for the 3rd base, there's a chance they might have canceled it. It was so freshly started.
Yeah,
so it's unfortunate.
Also, without the shield battery, the fight against the Stalkers would have gone so differently.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, nice. Very, very fortified, well-fortified position there.
Yeah,
Battery,
at this point, like, RanOutOfName cannot lose this in this 3rd even. He has High Templars for Archons. Archons will be ready.
Yeah, that's right. The Archons, very necessary against these Zealots. Do the extra damage, they do the splash damage.
They finish just in time. And EuroBadger is just bashing on the front wall, now going into a wall of Archons.
Exactly. Bashing on the front doors is a great way to say it. He's just going for that fortified, well-fortified position we were just
Even
talking
without
about,
the shield battery,
right
you'll be able to win, because the Archons are so good against Zealots. He also kills his own Stalker to try and make it even, but the fight is so immensely in his favor.
It is so immensely in his favor. Let's see if he can capitalize off of it, though. He's about double the army supply. He's
Just thinking about
across the map.
Yeah. This is a good move.
Does EuroBadger have upgrades to match him?
And that's an
+1 versus +1, okay.
Oh, but we have DT Shrine on the other side. DT Shrine and lots of Stalker from EuroBadger. He'll not be able to defend this third, I don't think, but once the DT Shrine finishes, we don't have so much protection, especially because the Oracle now has no energy in it.
No energy, yeah. So it'll only have 1 or 2 revelations by the time that Dark Shrine finishes. And EuroBadger is losing his third base. That is the punishment you get for losing all those Zealots.
If he just turns back now, I think he's got a very good position. But you don't want to go into that ramp. This is a very...
Yeah, another instance of the super battery, that natural ramp to the natural, the super battery being so hard to break into.
Okay. RanOutOfName is trying so hard to make it work, but at the last second it decides to back off, which is, I think, the right call. Because if you have a third and you just cancel the third of your opponent, you are bound to win in the long run, unless you take some more economic damage. So you should just
RanOutOfName is
pull back.
It's asserts here with this third base that they believe that they can handle that late game.
Yeah. We also have the first Arc Templar and the second one joining him. They're going to go... Well, they're being microed across the map, so I think EuroBadger is scared of some army movement in the middle of the map. I think the best option now would be to just play them and send one to each base, one to the third and one to the natural. Not clump them all together. It makes it a little bit easier, especially if your opponent has oracles, but they'll still find a few damage here and there.
Yeah.
A few probe kills. Quite a lot of probe kills.
We're at the detection problem we were talking about. Only now is the first observer rallying out. And it looks like there's no rally point on the robotics facility, so the observer will...
Oh, this is a nice force field, yeah. If you lost track of the Dark Templars, usually you can follow them with the shimmer. But if you lose track of them, it's a good idea to wall off your main base. Then you have the observer. That was a lot of workers killed, and okay, finally we see that the probe situation has been fixed. So RanOutOfName is kinda equal in probes to EuroBadger, but if he just chrono boosts probes at this point, he'll be way ahead, because 3 Nexi are better than 2. That's for sure.
It's true. He has the potential to take a significant economy lead here, and I think he'll need it, because EuroBadger's found himself with a pretty substantial army supply lead.
Loses the Oracle. That was bound to happen because your opponent had Blink, so there's no shame in it. The problem is that at this point, RanOutOfName has to stay at home and wait for the upgrades. Upgrade advantage is kinda in favor of EuroBadger, because he's also researching shields. Problem with shields upgrades is that they don't scale too well, first, and second of all, they cost way too much for what they do.
They don't scale as well, huh? What makes you say that?
Because nobody has...
Stalkers, half their HP.
Nobody has base shield armor. While the Stalkers have 1 base armor, so the armor stacks... like it's exponential in value. When you stack armor on something that already has armor, it gives way more value. The good thing would be, like, the only case you want to research shield upgrades is if your army is very Archon centric, because armor upgrade does nothing for an Archon.
Yeah, it can also help you with the Sky Toss transition.
Yes, to your area. If you intend to go on Sky Toss, that's always the better choice, because they won't gain the armor anyway. Anyhow, a very big engagement of all the army of RanOutOfName. they just like tear up the.
Oh, did you see that at the natural of Ran Out of Names? He tried to shoot a disruptor, but the disruptor was out of range by like a pixel or two.
Oh
And
no.
EuroBadger, he didn't
missed
move
that.
anything to respond to it, which suggests that, EuroBadger might have taken a massive disruptor there.
Oh, he was looking at his natural, like I was, as a matter of fact. A recall is being used, but I think at this point you're just splitting your army in two, and you cannot win either of those fights.
Players should think about proxying buildings right now, in order to ensure their survival. Regardless of who.
Just send a few probes out, one nexus in the corner of the map, take every single gas there is on the map.
Too late for EuroBadger though. I'm not seeing any probes on the map for him.
EuroBadger could have tried to go for
0 probes.
for a full base trade with the probes. Yeah.
GG. Yeah, ran out of names. Got that economy lead and managed to work off of it. I think all game showing a strong kind of a game plan. I would say at least for the early game. Buildings on time. And
I mean, we saw a very interesting build from EuroBadger, for lack of a better word, but
I mean, hey, some good ideas displayed there too, though. I mean, those Dark Templar run-bys got a lot of work done for him. Generated some potential, maybe for a comeback. So let's see which way it's gonna go.
And here we are, last game of the day. Inside and out is the map, and on the bottom left we have, playing in red, it is RanOutOfName.
And in the top for PigPan, EuroBadger in the purple. Pylons.
Oh yes, the early game of Protoss.
So we stand here, we've had one game with a cheese win, one game with a macro win where both players went for macro openings. Now we're seeing gateways again. So what do you think? Does EuroBadger think that game might have been his if he'd done a couple things different, and this is his time?
I mean, the problem with EuroBadger's build in the second game was that I don't think he really had a plan. He just thought he wanted to do some early aggression with Zealots, and didn't really work out in his favor. So I think this looks like the same build as before, to be fair. I'll have to see.
Alright, so it's time. This is again, we're seeing
double gateway,
gateways.
Double gas.
Oh, okay. EuroBadger goes for
okay.
expand. So we've got some build variety, and
that's a much more reasonable
slapping
build.
down the gauntlet, saying, what I did last time, my mistake was not taking enough risks. Gotta expand faster.
Again, very interesting walling by both of the players. I'm pretty sure this is both players have a one space gap in all of the walls.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny that I don't know if ran out of names.
No,
I guess
I'm pretty sure it's a gap.
Okay.
Fairly sure.
Yeah, that's actually funny that they both have the same.
Yeah, it's the same mispositioning. On the bright side, though, EuroBadger went for the least efficient kind of wall, and thanks to the gap, it's efficient once more. It will be efficient as well once the... Oh my god, this is a robo proxy. Interesting. So Stalker, into Stalker, Immortal, I would guess.
Yeah, let's look at these units here. See if he's gonna make more Stalkers.
Double shield battery. I'm pretty sure that EuroBadger scouted the lack of a natural, and he decided that he was going to receive some aggression.
Has he?
Well,
yeah,
he
hasn't spotted the proxy. He's limited information here.
He's going into double battery, and he's already warping in Zealots. Zealots against slow Zealots against Stalkers are basically useless. You should never build them, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, the only way they can get damage is if the Stalker player refuses to micro.
Yes.
And
exactly. But the defensive position from EuroBadger should be enough to anchor him for a little while. We see a Warp Prism though, and that will be a huge problem for EuroBadger because that will just allow the Stalkers to avoid the entire shield battery situation and just go into the main base. There's one pylon that's powering the entire production of EuroBadger. If that goes down, I think it's GG.
That's moment here.
As we wait with bated breath to see what's going to happen. Immortal in production, and the four Stalkers are on the way. Sneaky
no
does
vision
it.
in this back of the base. Oh, that Warp Prism should now be visible. Now there's an attack alert. And how does EuroBadger respond?
Oh, he's not
Pulls
unloading
all
of the Stalkers.
That's
He's
true.
trying to warp
Okay, a little
in.
bit of a mistake there on the Warp Prism control is going to make this even harder for RanOutOfName, who's getting surrounded right as he gets in.
Nice
and
purple.
Look at that. Okay, some solid little bit of Warp Prism juggling too is going to give some value to the Stalkers, but the Pro Pull is doing everything it needed to. And as long as EuroBadger gets back to work here with his probes, his income leads to start to fly away with this game. As long as he resumes probe production like that, all right.
Because we also have to notice that 11 probe were lost in this fight.
Yeah, 11 probes were lost. Lots of probes. But still, look at that. He's still ahead in probes. I mean, that fast Nexus, yeah.
I mean,
so much.
2 Nexi against 1 means that... actually, RanOutOfName doesn't even need 23 workers. He just needed 22, but I guess 1 is for the proxy in here, so... He's perfectly saturated, while EuroBadger will probably have around double his economy.
Alright, and with that, we have another tense moment here as the Warp Prism is loaded up once more, this time with Immortal and Double Stalker.
Alright, flies in
and here it goes.
Through the same path. There is a spotting
no
pylon
longer
now.
an Artosis pylon, by the way. Yep, there's another pylon, so those gateways will not be so easily taken out of the fight.
The not so Artosis pylon anymore. But I don't think he has a real say in this.
Can't use his Twilight Council, so that is one thing that might come back to bite him later if he doesn't have Blink.
Alright,
This Immortal drop C can be a bit of a pain to stop if you don't have Blink to really close the distance with it.
Almost got the
look at that.
Warp Prism. In the meantime, another force
joining forces here at the front.
Yeah, that's very smart. You should kill the pylon though, or retreat either way.
Well, yeah, and look at that. It does expose him to take him some damage, and with the battery support, the home field advantage here for EuroBadger.
Oh,
I think he might be able to pull this out, even though he has a few less army units and a few less powerful army units. He doesn't, and that
no, you should not. You should not follow.
Caster cursed.
Never fall outside of shield battery. I know you feel so strong whenever you're in shield battery range, but
yeah, that's true. I mean, the Immortal did go down, which feels like a power spike in EuroBadger's favor, but he did follow away from batteries with less Stalkers, so
trying to
took a bit of a beating there.
To repower his whole base is EuroBadger, but there is another force of Stalker in here. No army movement from EuroBadger, who taps out.
I wonder if that needed to be GG.
I think it was still...
I'm gonna go ahead and tell EuroBadger, I think with a Pro Pull, yeah. Pro Pull, and bring your Stalkers to the main, I think you can maybe beat this army.
I actually think he was ahead some way, somehow. I mean, the position was not good, but with some army movement here and there, maybe a shield battery in the main base, he could have done some work and maybe won the game entirely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking even just from that position, right? Like, even if he hadn't thought ahead and built a shield battery, I think he could have maybe stayed in it. Obviously, he would lose probes in the process, and taking a look at his probe count at the end, he was only a few ahead, so it could be that, you know, the damage had just piled up to so much. I don't know. Yeah. I can't blame him from leaving. You know, it's a tough position.
It's very hard when
you're
you
going
have
back and forth, and you kind of want to just get back to a game that's more comfortable.
Yeah, when you have limited information, it's so hard to know when to GG out of a game, because maybe EuroBadger thought his opponent was on 2 bases.
It's true. He did not have any scouting, so
in the case he would have been dead. So dead, as a matter of fact. Anyhow, I think that's it for today. A very short game, but that's what happens when you have a proxy and a cheese.
All right. Thanks
Yeah.
for hanging with us.
Yeah, thank you for co-casting. Thanks to both players for sending this replay in. If you want some more replays casted, don't hesitate to send me the replays. And we'll see you next time, probably next week at the same time. See ya.
Bye.